What is going on, YouTube? Northeast Ohio Marvel Cards here, back for another YouTube video. Yeah, we're talking about Marvel stuff again. Gonna take a little foray away from sports cards today. But we're gonna just have some general thoughts that would probably go out whether you're here for the sports cards or whether you're here for this or whatever. So we're gonna do a little market update, kind of talk about what's going on, and just some general thoughts on what's happening. We're just gonna talk. We're gonna have a little chat. So I did the video about a week and a half ago about one of my best investments of the year, which was picking up this bad boy right here for about $100 in the spring. Prices slowly crept up, yada yada yada. Things exploded this past, I'm gonna say, 7 to 14 days. Things have been percolating for a while, and then all of a sudden it just went ballistic. It feels like it was overnight. I don't think that it was quite overnight, but it really went nuts kind of all at once. And prices started getting crazy, people losing their minds. What is going on, etc., etc., etc. So I did that video a few days ago talking about how the Marvel market card is just exploding. And it's just gone crazier since. And that was just 3 days ago, 4 days ago, by the time you're watching this. I recorded that on the 31st and released it on the 1st. It is the 4th. I am releasing this on the morning of the 5th. And it's just gone more crazy the last few days since the time that video is recorded. I had nothing to do with that. I'm just saying this is like a feeding frenzy right now. From a card perspective, collecting, investing, whatever I choose to label myself as, I'm not going to lie, the last 3 to 4 days, just talking to people in Discord, interacting on Facebook groups, everyone watching these auctions count down and then posting about them, whether in Discord or Facebook, just in general, has been some of the most fun I have had since I got back into cards a couple years ago. It's so fascinating to watch this. I'm not going to say from the beginning, but from extremely early on, when people are starting to put the pieces to the puzzle together and then things start going crazy. And it's just been fun. It has been a ton of fun watching people dig through their old stuff, seeing what they have in the closet, refinding this stuff from their childhood in most cases, or that they've collected for years, whatever. Everyone's, kind of coming to it from a different angle. And it's just been really fun to watch. It's been fun to watch the chaos of the people that got mad about it because their niche hobby got popular. We talked about that in a video the other day. All of it. It has just been a blast. And I'm not going to lie, I got caught up in the fever a little bit. So, 2 or 3 days ago, I forget what, right after I posted that video, these boxes, Marvel Universe Series 1's boxes, were going for a little over to right around $1,000 a box when I recorded that video. In my mind, I believed at $1,000 a box ish, anything around $1,000 or more, low thousands, that they were drastically too cheap. How did I get to that conclusion? We'll talk about that in a second. But I put my money where my mouth is, and I bought a second box at $1,200 on Mercari. I drug my feet slightly, and I kept saying these are too cheap based off what prices are doing today. Now, this is full disclosure, guys. I could be completely wrong on all this. Do not make buying / investing, etc. decisions based off my idiocy. No one knows where the hell this is going to go. This could be just the tip, or this thing could explode the bad direction anytime. Who knows? Nobody knows. And let me tell you something right now. If someone's sitting behind a keyboard or a camera or a microphone and telling you they know what it's going to do, they're lying. Whether they think they are or not, they're lying. No one has any goddamn idea. Or if they did, they wouldn't be telling you about it. It's as simple as that. So I'll go through some of my reasons here. If, and this is a big if, the PSA 10 market prices, even if they pull back some, hold, then at $1,000-ish a box, I paid $1,200. I could have had one the day before for like $1,050. I was like, that's a lot of money. Then they jumped to $1,100, and then they jumped to $1,500 like nothing. And I managed to track one down off eBay for $1,200. Ended up paying $1,300 with shipping and tax. So it'll be here Monday. Spoilers, once it shows up, if everything's good, I'm not ripping this one until the second one gets here. I will be opening a box of 90 MU on the channel, probably live. I just don't know when yet, because I don't know when the second box is supposed to show up. I also, before everything went crazy, I have another box of X-Men coming. I got that for $110 before prices went nuts. These two I had purchased back in the spring for like $60 a piece. So I have a third box of X-Men. At some point in time, I will probably rip one of those on the channel. I also have, I told you I went a little nuts on this, another box of Series 2 Marvel Universe coming. I picked it up for $180. It was kind of mislisted on eBay a little bit. Boxes were going for $300, and this one was sitting there, buy it now at $180 free shipping. So I grabbed it and then held my breath for a full 36 hours before the shipping label was printed for it, because I thought I was going to get canceled. Assuming that shows up with no, actually, I'm probably going to rip a box of Series 2 no matter what, even before that one even shows up. I am thinking I'm going to rip a box of Series 2 on Saturday. I will schedule it. I'll put it up at least a day ahead of time. And it'll probably be late Saturday morning Eastern Standard Time, maybe like 10 or 11 a.m. I don't know yet. Instead of Saturday morning cartoons, we can rip some Marvel cards together. But that's the early plan, assuming nothing crazy happens the next few days. Anyway, assuming that the PSA 10 market can hold, then these were a steal at anything around $1,000 a piece. I'm going to make my desktop cam a little bit smaller, and we are going to switch over to 130 point here for a few minutes. So here's current box prices as we sit today. These have already gone up more. You can see this one was best offer accepted at $1,300. Someone got a good deal on this based off current auction prices. $1,500, $1,400, $2,000, $1,875, $1,500, $2,000 for an open box, $1,300 for a sealed box, $1,000. This was back when I bought mine, right around in here. $1,150. Actually, this was the one I think I was trying to buy, or maybe it was this one. I don't remember. I was trying to get one of these, and someone beat me to it, and then I found the one on Mercari. Let's hop over to live auctions. And once again, I am recording this on Thursday, late afternoon. It's about 5 p.m. Eastern time. Here's one that ends in an hour, 39 bids, $1,700. Let's take a look at this really quickly and just see, where is my bid history? See if any shenanigans are going on. No, this looks a little sketch with the 8 buyer feedback here, but the guy on top looks legit with 237, and the guy below him with 21 feedback looks legit-ish enough. And I've been trying to keep a close eye on the bidding history for a lot of this stuff as it ends to see if it looks like it's being shilled. And I'm not saying none of it is. There absolutely could be some shill bidding going on. It's eBay. Who the hell knows? But based off what me and other people are seeing that are trying to keep an eye on this, most of these sales look relatively legit. So at $1,700 to $2,000, I still actually might think they're a pretty good deal if huge if the PSA 10 market can hold. And there's a strong PSA 9 market coming along with it. So let's look at PSA 10s. Here's recent PSA 10 sales. Here's just a random Colossus card for $250. Here's an Iceman card, $300. Here's some of the weird battle cards, almost $200. A Luke Cage, $200. So you're seeing good returns on even these, I don't want to call them random cards, but your non-keys, to steal a phrase from comic books. Non-key cards in PSA 10 are pulling good value. You could rip a box tomorrow, pull a Power Man / Luke Cage card, send it to PSA at regular service yourself for $50 a card. You don't need a membership, and get it back in about 5 to 6 weeks is what most regular service orders are running based off the Blowout Forum order tracker list. I look at that all the time because it gives you a good idea on what PSA turnaround times look like. But we've been seeing 4 to 6 weeks on regular order personal submissions. Group submitters seem to be taking a little bit longer. So at $50 a card, you could send that in if you're confident it can get a 10 and make $150 on it. Now, that doesn't sound a lot when the boxes are $1,200 to $1,500 to $2,000. However, let's keep scrolling down this list for a second and see what happens when we actually get to, let's call it an Avenger. Black Panther, $1,650 for a PSA 10. Best offer accepted. Spider-Man versus Venom battle card, $500. These comic cover cards, anywhere from $300 to $400. Another Versus card, $300. Spider-Man and Venom, PSA 10. 2 separate cards, almost $3,000 in PSA 10s. Now, sealed boxes, like we have here on the desk, are not the goose that lays the golden egg. I'm not going to open this and just PSA 10s are going to fall out at me and I got to scoop them up and grab them before they hit the floor and get them sent off to PSA. It's not going to be the case. We're not guaranteed anything out of there in regards to a PSA 10. However, some of the cards, I don't know what the percentage is going to be. We'll find out together probably next week sometime, are going to come out well-centered and hopefully in good shape. It's not going to be every single card in the box. It's just not. So if you get a little lucky and you hit a Black Panther, a Spider-Man, a Stan Lee, and Cap, an Iron Man, whatever, any of the key characters, Thor probably, Hulk's been selling pretty decently, not as high as some of the others. Even a Wolverine. Here's a Black Suit Spider-Man, 13. I don't know what the conversion rate is on that, but it's probably pretty close to this. 1725 US. I think this was ended up about 1500 US. I don't remember, but regardless, that's the price of the box right there. Here's a Green Goblin went for 600. Continuing the scroll down the list, Doctor Doom, 750 at auction. Another Spider-Man Black Suit, 1500. So, and these are all just since January 31st. So there's plenty of sales to back this up. Let's flip over to PSA 9. Now there's less PSA 9 sales, but they're still pulling decent money. Thanos, $150, $50 to grade it. $100 return, plus or minus your fees, your shipping, your taxes, and all that stuff. Ghost Rider, $140. Grey Hulk, $200. Black Suit Spider-Man, $500. This is encouraging to see because it's $500. The PSA 10 is going for $1,500. Typically, you see 3x on a PSA 9 to a PSA 10. Here's a Stan Lee for $400. We've seen Stan Lee PSA 10s go for close to $2,000. So the ratios and the math are checking out like we would see for those of us that live in the sports card market. 3x for a PSA 10 over a 9 is extremely typical. We're beginning to see that suss itself out here. Whether it holds, I don't know. Here's $240 for a PSA 9 Cap, $350 for a PSA 9 Spider-Man, $450 again for a PSA 9 Stan Lee. So even if you don't hit a PSA 10 on the keys, even if you could pull a 9 and maybe you get a little lucky and get a 10 or 2, you're coming out way ahead. Now, how many cards out of the box will be PSA 10s? Don't know till you open it. In the SCI Discord, there's been a lot of discussion in the non-sports card investment channel. someone ripped one of these, and I'm sorry, I forget your username off the top of my head. And he said he had about 10 to 12 good looking, what he thought were high PSA 9s or potential 10s out of his box of heroes and I believe villains. But he did not go through the versus battles yet or the comic book covers yet. So if you're willing to risk it, here's the risks involved. You buy the box. Let's say you get one for $1,500. You get it, you rip it, you send them off to PSA. Okay. Multiple risk levels here. One, how good's your box? Did you pull good PSA gradable cards or not? Odds are, just given the size of the checklist, or given the size of the checklist, which it's not huge, the number of cards / packs in a box, odds are you're going to hit multiples of each character. You're going to get a little unlucky and only get one of some guys. But you're going to get lucky on the flip side and get 3 or 4 of others. I think the box that he broke, he got 3 Black Panthers that all looked pretty solid. Okay. So that's risk 1. Risk 2 is, what the hell happens in 6 months? I'm sorry, 6 weeks, 5 weeks. Maybe you express them. If I hit a Black Panther, this is insane to me to even say this statement. It might be worth expressing it to PSA at $75 a card or whatever it is that they charge to get it back faster. What we don't know what we don't know is what happens when more inventory hits the market. Now, that a lot of people have been saying, "Oh my God, people are going to send this stuff off to PSA, then the market's going to get flooded. There's going to be inventory everywhere." Here's the thing: everyone's crying. There's millions of these cards laying around. This was the most mass-produced set in history. You're probably right. Here's the thing: a bunch of 8 to 12-year-old to 14-year-old kids ripped a billion of these packs. How the hell well do you think they were taken care of? Even if you stuck it in a binder, where the hell has that binder been the last 30 years? 30 years. These cards, unlike sports cards, were not ripped from a pack and immediately put into a penny sleeve. You rip a pack of Prism, what do you have next to you? A pack of penny sleeves. You pull a jar or a Zion, that thing's in a penny sleeve before you can blink. Then it's in a top load or a mag and God knows team bag and everything else. These things were lucky to get in pages. Most complete sets that people ripped were either displayed in a binder or put in cardboard boxes, long boxes or mini long boxes, and then stored on a shelf, God knows where. Yes, I am sure there are some people that took very good care of their cards, and they probably are out of the sleeves in very good shape. But how many people did that? The other thing people say, oh, there's sealed boxes of these laying around like crazy. There's plenty of supply of this stuff. Is there? Is there? There was plenty supply of this stuff when a lot of people really didn't want it. Every once in a while, someone like me back in the spring would be like, you know what? I'm stuck in the house for a pandemic. I want to take a trip down nostalgia lane. Let me get a box of this to rip it with, myself, or maybe I have kids or a niece or a nephew or whatever. Let's have some fun chasing some Spider-Man holograms. And you open them, probably throw them in a binder or a box, probably not keeping the best condition of them, et cetera, et cetera. You see where this is going. Someone brought this up in one of the Facebook groups as a good reason why they don't think there's a lot of sealed boxes of these laying around. A lot of the other Marvel sets and a lot of the other junk wax of the 90s, you see sealed cases for sale left and right. You do not see sealed cases of 90 Marvel's Universe floating around, or 91 for that matter. I haven't seen one since I started digging, and trust me, I've been looking under every rock that I could try to find more of this stuff. You just don't see sealed cases. You see sealed boxes, and even those are few and far between. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying I don't think this stuff's piled around as much as it is. And now, yes, there was enough supply before for previous demand levels. Well, now demand just went up by 100 times. Guess what? Not enough boxes to satiate demand, hence why the prices are skyrocketing. And I really don't know how many of these sealed things are out there. These are 30-year-old boxes, 31 years old. How many of them are legitimately still out there? There could be tons. There could be not tons. I lean that it's not as many as people think that there are. So I think the sealed boxes are the best bet still for either rip. If you want to risk it, you risk how do the cards come out of the packs and what the hell does the market look like in anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks to 8 months, depending on what way you want to take it for grading. Do I think prices continue to go up on if I had to guess, my gut tells me PSA prices and sealed boxes continue to climb at least for a little bit. There's a lot of new eyes coming to this market, and I don't think the full eye of Sauron of the sports card world has turned on it yet. But a lot of people are starting to take notice. For those of you sports people, you'll know what I'm talking about. Card Collector 2 podcast, one of the bigger YouTubers, has Lou and Tyler on his podcast as guest hosts. They're both very close, or at least one of them is, and I forget who. I'm sorry. Ryan owns the card store in Columbus. He knows Lou and Tyler. One of them, if not both of them, are associated with Gary V. All of them have been talking about Marvel Universe cards on the last 2 episodes. Lou hinted at, I believe it was Lou, or maybe it was Ryan, hinted at that they have a friend that has a bunch of these sitting at PSA. I'm not saying that friend's Gary V. I have no freaking idea. But I wouldn't be surprised. Gary V's mentioned Marvel stuff before. What the hell do you think happens to this market if, by chance, Gary V tweets about it? Or some other big-time influencer, social media person, whatever, talks about it. Jeff over at SCI comes on and been like, man, this Marvel stuff's crazy, huh, guys? Look out. Hear more come. You're seeing it talked about more and more in Facebook groups and social media in general. So I don't know that the full weight has come over yet. And if it does, look out. Stuff's already going nuts. So my gut tells me as prices continue to climb for a bit, at some point in time, there is going to be a pullback and a new floor is established, just like we see in the sports card market all the time. Stuff shoots up, a little bit of a pullback, and then levels back out again. Then where does it go from there? And how big is the pullback is what none of us know. And how long does it keep going up? I just know, in my mind, these at anything under $2,000 a box. I know that this sounds freaking insane. Anything under $2,000 a box, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, I think is too cheap based on the potential for grading or the potential of just holding it sealed. Because what's going to happen? People are buying these boxes up. Most people, I believe, are buying these up to rip and grade. Now what just happened? Your supply, your limited supply, I don't care how many of these things were printed, they're 30 years old. Your limited supply of Marvel Universe Series 1 boxes, a ton of them just got taken out of circulation and are going to be ripped open. You're going to have people like me that buy 2, rip 1, set 1 aside. You're going to have people that buy them to instantly rip to try to catch on to this graded craze. The population counts on this stuff are still extremely low. There is only, what did I have? I had it up here, and let me see if I could find it really quickly. Don't want to. Yeah, I got it right here. This is Marvel's 90 Universe population page. Total for the entire set. There are 1,974 PSA 10s, 676 PSA 9s. Now, people look at this and go, good Lord, that gem rate's high. Well, most people don't submit a card unless they think it's going to get a 9 or a 10. So the gem rate should be high. Plus, in my mind, the people that are submitting these to be graded are probably pretty damn sure that it's a 10 and really want a 10. So they're probably looking them over extra close because how many people were grading these cards prior to this? If you're running out there and you're buying stuff, be wary of a couple different things. Now, Before we get into that, let's talk about something else. This is now starting to trickle down to all the other stuff. Marvel Series 1, this is almost, for those of you sports people, think of this like basketball Prism. Prism shoots up first, everything else follows. A lot of the Marvel people, not to put all of us in buckets, I'm included in this, are saying, well, why the hell is Marvel Universe going up? Marvel Masterpieces is a much better set. Marvel Flair is a much better set, etc., etc. My best guess is the reason that Marvel Universe is going up first is people view it as the flagship. It's comic book style art, not artsy fartsy art. No offense to you Marvel Masterpiece people out there. Just not my style. I get it. I get why people think it looks nice. It's not for me. Plus, when I was a kid, you didn't buy Marvel Masterpiece packs to rip. You bought these at the grocery store for 99 cents or whatever the hell that they were when I would check out at every supermarket that we ever went to had these things everywhere. This is what you bought to rip. This is the first thing I think of when I think of Marvel cards, is these two sets specifically right here. I think that plays a big factor. The reason the X-Men box, I think, is slow on the take up is because the X-Men boxes, regardless of year or set, and I personally like the Jim Lee one the best, is because there's not Avengers in here. You're not getting Spider-Man out of this box. You're not getting Black Panther out of this box. You're not getting Captain America out of this box. You're getting the X-Men. No X-Men movies yet. Not as buzzy. Avengers, MCU characters come out of these two. Now, X-Men are coming to MCU. I still think these are a good long-term play if you believe in this market. But as I mentioned before, these price increases are now starting to filter down to all the other products. Universe Series 2 going up. X-Men going up. Marvel Masterpieces going up. X-Men Fleer Ultra going up. Marvel Series 3 going up. Words of caution. Do your research. A lot of these Marvel cards brick. If you're not familiar with bricking, and I mentioned this on the last video, when you go to open the pack and you go to pull the cards apart, they get stuck together. It's called bricking. There's some tricks to help getting them apart. Most of them don't typically work. If you get a brick box, it's toast. Like garbage toast for the most part. Marvel Masterpieces is notorious for that. Be very careful buying those sealed boxes that are going for $800 to $900 right now, and they're creeping up by the day. PSA 10 wise, if you could find one already graded, they'll be extremely low pop counts. Because let me tell you something, most of the boxes people buy, if they're buying to rip, are going to be in for a rude awakening when they open it. Here's the other thing: do not buy freaking boxes that are already opened. I learned how to search one of these things when I was an 8-year-old kid to go find the hologram. Not an 8-year-old, 10-year-old kid to find the holograms in the grocery store when a box would be put out. They are the most easily searchable things ever. I'm not going to get into the how or the why. It's not hard to figure out, but they are extremely searchable for the holos. And the holos in PSA grades, even an 8 or a 9, sell for a lot because they are terrible for grading. The centering is awful and the surfaces are beat to hell. So the ones that you pull may not even be worth sending in to be graded anyway. But do not buy loose packs. Super easy to search these things and pull the holograms. And I see sealed packs or 36 count boxes with packs sealed, 36 sealed packs in an unsealed box selling for a lot of money. Why the hell do you think the box is open? Why is the cellophane off, but there's just magically 36 packs in there, even though the cellophane got ripped? Give me a freaking break. They opened up boxes, pulled all the hologram packs out, filled them back up to 36, and now we're trying to sell the boxes with 36 packs in them, with the holograms most likely removed. Maybe you get lucky and they missed a pack. Do not chase sealed or open boxes, or just loose packs in general. I would not advise it. Also, be careful buying these things on the secondary market in complete sets. Remember what we talked about earlier in this video with conditions. I would look them over closely, ask for good photos if you can't look at them in person, and make sure that everything is on the up and up. And it's no fault of the person selling them to you, especially if you're submitting a grade. Here's the thing. A lot of the Marvel people are not familiar with card grading at all. I see some of the questions floating around the message boards. I try to correct them as much as I can, or Facebook, not message boards. Just unfamiliar with the grading process, and kind of people are drastically underestimating what it takes to get a PSA 10. They just think there's PSA 10s falling off the PSA 10 tree in the back. That's not the case. It's not their fault. They just don't grade very often, and they're just not used to the way grading works. I get it. But we know, for those of us that are here from the sports card world, what grading entails. We understand it, and we know how tough it can be to get a PSA 10, even out of a box of modern stuff that you rip, not stuff from boxes that have been sitting around forever. So we will see where this all goes, but I am for sure along with the ride. I will be very curious to see where this box here ends in 39 minutes. I'll be keeping a close eye on that. But I really think these boxes level out at close to 2,000 and maybe keep going. And I really think if the PSA 10 market holds, 2,000 is too cheap. I could be completely wrong. There's a good chance I am. That's just my thoughts. And I put my money where my mouth was and bought one at 1,300. I'm going to rip it. I'm going to grade it, and we're going to see what the hell happens. And we're going to do it live on the channel. So that's all I got for you guys today. YouTube stuff down below. Like, comment, sub, all that jazz. If you stuck through this long ass video this long, please hit the like button. It helps it out. The last Marvel video did great. It took a little bit of while to catch steam, but it's been doing fantastic. And I really enjoy this. And I'm going to keep doing videos on them, at least for a while. I'm along for the ride. So I'm going to mix these in with the sports cards nonsense. So you sports cards guys, going to have to deal with a little Marvel video every once in a while. You Marvel people that are hanging out here for me talking about this stuff and doing box openings and stuff, you have to deal with some sports card nonsense picking up on your feed every once in a while. But it is what it is. We can all be friends. We can all be happy little partners in this crazy little game that we're all in. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Once again, do your homework on this stuff before you just start clicking buy it nows. That's all I have for you for real this time. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.